All right, welcome back to the Journeyman Guitarist. We're into part 3 of the Great Summer Pedalboard Exploration. Part 1, I was talking about my flyboard and how I would take that and divide it up into two different kind of sets of pedals. I'd have the one pedal. I'd have the main board with the Quad Cortex and a couple Strymon pedals on it. And then I would typically on the right side have either a little board with a volume pedal, a wah, and another little volume pedal that would operate the piezo, or a lot of times I would just carry them and set them on the stage without carrying the board. Just really depends on the gig. And that would all pack up in a little tiny suitcase with my clothing, and that's my fly gig. I could either check it or carry it on or do whatever. So very handy. Then the second video, we were talking about how I was going on a multi-band, a series of multi-band bill shows. First with, of course, playing with Vertical Horizon, but the first one being Fight for Fighting for a couple of weeks, and then after Fight for Fighting, doing some stuff in between with just Vertical Horizon headlining, and then going out with Toad the Wet Sprocket. So all kinds of stuff going on this summer and into the fall. Keep an eye out for us. Come out to a gig. Reach out to me on YouTube messaging and let me know if you're going to be around, because I always like to say hi if I can. All right, so moving on, I'm into part 3. So what I was going to do was build a separate board that was all one big, not big, but all one piece so that it could be walked out on stage, laid down, the XLRs plugged into the Quad Cortex for the outputs, and then 2 guitar cables plugged in for the piezo and the magnetic pickup for the Paul Reed Smiths, and it'd be done. So literally the board could be dropped and connected in less than a minute, probably about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, which when you're doing a really fast changeover in a multi-band bill, time is money, man. And I don't know if you guys have seen the videos, but there's a couple of great videos rolling around of bands finishing their sets a little bit late, and the sets just, because they have sometimes they'll have the rotating sets on stage. And if you're a little bit late, sometimes the stage will just rotate and you'll have to finish your song as you're rotating away and the crew is coming out to bring the next band on. All I'm going to say is it's really frowned on if you go over late in a festival style gig or a multi-band bill. So you want to be fast, you want to be efficient, and you want to make sure your gear is protected and put together, because it's going to be flying, it's going to be on the bus, it's going to get thrown around backstage. And so after years and years and years of doing this, I came up with a really elegant solution, because again, I didn't want to break my flyboard into a million pieces to create this new thing. So I'd bought some extra gear. But then as I was working through everything, I came up with a really elegant solution. And I've had this case for years. I toured this with a bunch of people. So anyway, I can't remember who. Simon Collins, Big Elf, and a bunch of my solo shows. It's smaller than my Porcupine Tree board. That was actually, you can see the size difference. That was actually this board. When I was out with Porcupine Tree, I would have this board as my main board and another board off to the side. Of course, obviously the Porcupine Tree thing was very involved. So I came up with a new solution for this year's touring board. It flies, it hangs on a bus, and here we go. It's a great case made by Olympic Cases here in Tampa. They custom made this for me. And as you can see, I had them put some wheels on it. And because these things are, I got to carry them through airports and all kinds of stuff. And as we pull the lid off, voila, the big reveal, and there is the new board. All right, so what we did, I really like these temple boards. And so I was using a temple board for my fly rig. And what I would do is I would have this temple board, it would come out of the case, and then I would connect these 3 things up to it via this cable, which was custom built for me by Team P Cables. So what I did, the solution I came up with was taking the temple board, fitting it, just dropping it in the case, foaming it out so it stayed in place, and then taking a piece of plywood and adding a platform here, cutting it to size so that way the temple board doesn't move and these pedals are elevated enough to where it all just works. And then I was able to install the little power module on the side here for the temple board and so it's easily powered. And I can use, I can either just add an extension cord, or I can get a longer IEC loom. It just depends on stage power for each show. So that's really easy to swap out. As you can see, the temple boards make it real easy to swap out your power. It's just here on the sides. They sell little modules for IEC, so I put that on there. So this is the gig rig. Daniel from the gig rig, he makes a thing called the Cinco. And what this is it's just a power input. So I can run all these pedals into this, and my two inputs, one for the piezo and one for the magnetic pickup, are right there. The guitar cables just plug in here, and then everything is routed where it needs to be. The Quad Cortex has stereo outputs here. So left and right stereo for the electric guitar. I use output A for my acoustic, my piezo, and I just put a little extension in there to make it an XLR as well. So basically 3 XLRs go to the front of house into the monitor system, and it's just very elegant. So what I've got going on, I've got the temple board, I've got the Quad Cortex, I've got the Strymon Cloudburst, which I love, and the Strymon Timeline. I'm also using the little Polytune, which is great. The Boss VP, the Ernie Ball VP pedal, the Alex Lifeson Lurkst Morley wah pedal, and then another little Dunlop. This is for my piezo, so I can turn, just by pushing down on and off, I can bring in a little bit of piezo, a little bit of piezo. It's for really for blending and turning the piezo on and off with the magnetic, because the quad also handles the piezo. It weighs 48.5 pounds, so I won't get charged an extra weight fee for luggage. And as you can see, it rides really securely. It's so you just drop it on stage, plug in your guitar cables, plug in your 3 XLRs, and it's go time. Like literally, that's it. Oh, plug in your power, and it's go time. Very handy, great, not awkward. Really happy with it, and so that it doesn't move around, I did a little custom foam job on the lid. You know, I figured out where everything sits. Glued some foam in to make sure that nothing is moving around. As you can see, this will set nicely on top of it. And I won't keep the guitar cables inside of it. That will go in another box. So this is the way it'll pack up. And then the lid goes on. And away we go. All right. By the time you see this video, I will have been out and been using it for a couple of weeks. So I really hope it goes well. Looking forward to seeing you guys out there this summer. Come join us. Vertical Horizon, we're out with Fight for Fighting, and we are out with Toad the Wet Sprocket. We'll be out till mid-October. Look for us. John Wesley, the journeyman guitar player here, saying thank you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, tell your friends, do all the things. We'll catch you next time.